Happy Christmas. Oh, we've done that bit. Happy in-between bit.
What is the in-between bit?
It's called betwixt the two, betwixt
Christmas and New Year's.
New Year. That weird time where you're just stuffing your face with all the bits and pieces that are left over. My mum rang me yesterday and went, I don't know what to do. I've got 2 half bottles of champagne open in the fridge.
Just drink them.
I'm going to have to drink them and I don't want to.
I ate half a tub of Nutella today.
Yeah, so we're in that place. Of course, I'm sure all the celebrities are now back to running along Malibu Beach and staying fit and beautiful and healthy as they have to.
Did Joe Wicks today? I was going to do Joe Wicks today.
Live a celebrity lifestyle and do a workout.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we had great fun looking at all the fabulous decorations.
Trees.
Oh my God, the trees, the arches.
I
just thought I'd start. I don't know.
What is
toilet paper.
Hang on. I cut myself shaving.
Yeah, you've got toilet paper all
Sorry.
over you. Yeah, I thought I'd start with a Brad and Jennifer story.
Ooh.
Bit of nice news, because of course, when I brought this topic up to Mark was like, well, is anybody interested? I said, have you forgotten how massive a story this was when Brad, and terribly sad, when Brad and Jennifer split up. And people went into 2 teams, didn't they? Team Jennifer and Team Angelina.
Yeah, I was Team Angelina.
There was loads of people that had the t-shirts up. They have maintained throughout, Brad and Angelina, that they did not have an affair whilst he was married.
Right.
That they only got together, that they'd had a connection in their movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but they only got together after the breakup.
More than a connection, you can see.
Oh God, I remember Jennifer and Brad's wedding. It was so beautiful.
Was it?
Yeah, she was so beautiful. She had like her hair, she just had teeny little
I've always
flowers.
had a lot of time for Jennifer Aniston. We're watching her at the moment in the morning show, which is really good fun. And she's involved in a sort of protracted divorce in that, isn't she? I wonder whether it's sort of reminding her of what she went through with Brad. Did it get pretty acrimonious?
We don't know, because they never talk about this stuff, but apparently they are now very, very good friends. Ooh. And they have found a friendship of real trust.
Wow.
They love and trust each other again 15 years after their bitter split.
What does that mean?
I remember when they got married in private. I love the way the newspapers always say, no, they just got married. Just because they didn't do it with you there doesn't mean it was a secret. That's it, secret marriage. There, that's the famous photo, and that's the only photo they released of their wedding.
Yes.
It's so
it's lovely.
Lovely.
The way she's looking at him.
Oh, and him.
And he's looking at her boobs. Isn't he?
Maybe. She has got a gorgeous figure.
They've built I love this quote here from Hollywood Life. They've built their bond and rekindled their friendship so much more than it was the past few years now that they're both single. Is this all basically a euphemism for they've had a bit of a shake?
Mark,
well, no.
I think there is a suggestion that they may. I mean, because
that they reconnected.
The newspapers would love nothing more than for the 2 of them to get back together again. Well, we all would. It would be a huge romance, wouldn't it? I mean, she had a Thanksgiving party this year called Friendsgiving, and her ex-husband from last year, Justin Theroux, they were only married 2 years, was at the Thanksgiving with all her friends.
Oh, right.
So she's obviously
one of those birds who stays friends with all her exes. She doesn't have any children, does she?
No. And she gets really annoyed when people ask her about it.
Why?
She has a really full and happy life, and she's always, just because she's a woman of a certain age, people don't ask men that, and she gets really annoyed about it.
So apparently he was a guest at Jennifer's Christmas party and was one of the last to leave the celebrity bash. They definitely had a bit of a smooch.
Don't say that. We don't know.
Come on, that's what everyone's inferring.
I just think it's really, that's what they're inferring. I think it's really nice that they've rekindled that friendship. Good for them.
Slightly sadder news this Christmas was George Michael's sister, Melanie Panayiotou, I think is how you pronounce it, was found dead on the 3rd anniversary of his death on Christmas Day.
What, on the same day?
At 59.
I didn't realise he died on Christmas Day.
Well, again, I mean, I suppose we don't entirely know whether he did or didn't, do we?
Right.
I mean,
what if it's saying on the anniversary?
But he was found on Christmas Day. I mean, at the end of the day, it just seems so tragically sad. And there seems to be great sort of, history with this, isn't there? I mean, it happened with Whitney. Do you remember Whitney Houston's daughter died in almost identical circumstances? I'm not suggesting it's the same reasons that she died.
Do we know why she died?
It's that curious phrase that I always find so odd when they say in not suspicious circumstances.
Why do you find that so odd? Well, it means that they know that there hasn't been any foul play. That it doesn't necessarily mean that
she hasn't committed suicide or taken drugs. It could mean
anything. It could mean that totally natural causes. It could mean anything. But what it means is they don't think there was foul play.
Oh yeah, but all they mean is no one's murdered someone.
Yeah.
Whereas, I mean, I think whenever you find out, I suppose what I'm suggesting is that anyone who dies, especially so with such synchronicity with their brother. It's suspicious on a fundamental level because I guess the person wasn't necessarily ill and didn't just happen to die on exactly the same. I don't know. I always find it a really odd phrase. But yeah, so sadly, in a statement to the Mirror, police were called by London ambulance at approximately 7:30 on the Christmas day to the reports of a death of a woman in her 50s. Sudden death of a woman.
Was she in her? Maybe she just had a heart attack. Oh, God.
They were very close from birth, the siblings, and Melanie travelled around the world with her brother.
I truly believe that you can have anniversaries of anguish. And you can, you know how you can have, it seems like you have a cold at exactly the same time as you do every year. Apparently there is some kind of memory in the body that you can revisit illness.
Emotional trauma.
And so maybe that happens more often than we think. We know that people die on the anniversary of when they lost somebody really, because they were very close, weren't they?
But my heart goes out to his family. Imagine the tragedy of that. And I mean, that's Christmas removed as a time of year for the extended family. So that just struck me as particularly sad. We
loved you. I've met so many people that known George Michael very well, and oh my God, all you ever hear. He sounds like he's the nicest person in the business, honestly.
Yeah.
All you ever hear is how fabulous he was.
Yeah.
I've got another, I can't believe this. Now, if you are a fan of Housewives of Beverly Hills, you will know who Brandi Glanville is. But I'm sure to our American subscribers, she's a lot better known there.
I thought it was a shop.
Because her ex-husband was Eddie Cibrian, and they were she was madly in love with her husband Eddie, and he had an affair with Leanne Rimes, who is a big country and western star. Yeah, they're very, very famous. All these people in America, and because I watched the whole thing play out on Housewives of Beverly Hills, and it was a very acrimonious and bitter breakup. She would often weep in the show about how much she missed him, and she was madly in love with him. There he is. There's Leanne Rimes. You would have thought that they would never be in the same vicinity, having watched her on Housewives of Beverly Hills. But apparently they all spent Christmas together with her sons and Leanne Rimes.
Right.
And, and if only there was more of this, where people were able to put their differences to one side for their children who are torn between two houses. How many children are torn between two homes at Christmas?
No, I agree.
And I just thought, good on you.
Do you think maybe it's the year for kind of forgiving and forgetting everyone and everything? Is it ever wise to harbour a grudge or an upset? But maybe it's less about harbouring a grudge and more about not being able to get over an upset.
Yeah.
Heartbreak.
Well, you've got to have everybody's got.
And I do sometimes wonder when I look at photos like the photo that you're currently looking at, how much is the person who was the aggrieved one, how much are they having to push down in order to make that photo happy for those other parties in it who are very happy? He might be happy with them all being friends, but she might not be.
Can you imagine that? Because she was so in love with him when they broke up, and I mean. And then what's that like? You see your ex with his wife, holding hands, cuddling up, getting snuggly at Christmas.
Exactly. She wears no shoes and is clearly a bit of a hippie type.
Oh, I mean, it must just be so hard. But good on her, I thought.
Yeah, I don't know. I always think that behind those photos there's sadness.
Well, no, of course. No, you're missing my point.
Yeah,
that's exactly
I know
what I'm saying.
But I don't think it's a good thing necessarily always for them all to be united and standing in front of everyone saying, when actually what they're actually just doing is denying how they feel. So, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, we all know I've got an enormous crush on Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He's a very generous man. He's like my idea of the perfect Father Christmas. If he came up my drive or down my chimney, I'd be dead happy. Anyway, he's apparently known for being an incredible gift giver. And he's given his sister-in-law, well, let's see what he's given his sister-in-law, shall we?
You're the best sister-in-law. Best sister. Merry Christmas.
Oh, snap! Oh, snap! What a shame they weren't on her face. They were on the car. Who was filming that was so obsessed with the car, we wanted to see her face.
So anyway, he bought her an SUV that's worth around about $65,000.
Wow. God, it must be so wonderful to have that amount of money and be able to really treat people that you really care about like that. I mean, money isn't everything.
No.
But what a nice thing to be able to do.
He does also say it's the best part of being famous or being in the public eye, as he likes giving stuff back to not only his family, but also him and Kevin Hart headed off to a crowded cinema somewhere in America, handed out free PlayStation 4s, movie passes and snacks during a showing of Jumanji.
Really?
I wish I'd been in that cinema.
So I would love to just surprise my mum just one day and just say, right, Mum, come on, we're going on the Orient Express to Venice. We're gonna go.
How does it go through Venice when it's full of water?
God, well, you get to somewhere, don't you? Then you get something else, and then stay in Venice for a couple of days and just take it. But these things cost thousands and thousands of pounds, and what a gift!
What a gift
to be able to just give to people like that.
But it goes back to that thing that they often say in 12-step recovery: if you can give someone a gift, obviously she knows it's from her brother-in-law, but you know, to give someone the gift of something without wanting gratitude for it is quite just something, isn't it? Just doing it for the love of it. That's what Christmas is about. Surely that's what Christmas is about. So that's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And by the way, Craig David, who you were in the Kenyan thingy, did the similar thing with a Mini Cooper for his mum. The thingy, we did a trek together in Kenya for Comic Relief. And he was the loveliest man. So it doesn't surprise me at all that he did a little... And apparently, this surprise that he did for his mum, they had so many stages. Yes. Like she opened a box, there was a golden ticket, and then she opens a golden ticket, and then there's another box, and then she gets a key, and then she finds a car, and everyone was crying, and we just love it. I love giving... I want to give someone a car, but I might give them a really small car. A really tiny car. So we got Kim Kardashian. Oh my God. People just love to have a go at Kim Kardashian. You know, Kim Kardashian, I do sort of stick up for her. You do? She has 4 children. She has a husband with bipolar. She is studying to be a lawyer. She spends a lot of her time trying to get people that are wrongly imprisoned out of prison. She clearly adores all her children, but because she just happened to post a picture with just one of them, she's now being accused of favoritism. Oh God. I just think people get really jealous of the Kardashians, and that's why they have a pop at them a lot of the time. But I mean, she clearly, it's just a lovely photo, and she thought she would just post it. I really do. I hope this can be the year where there's less virtue signaling from people. I was about to say that. People telling people on Instagram, on YouTube, whatever, on how to behave. I mean, it's just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Well, apparently North is seen here clutching a £10,000 white Hermes Birkin handbag. The whole Birkin handbag thing. What is a Birkin handbag? They cost thousands of pounds. Why are they? Babe. How much of a bag do you need a bag to be? And then there's waiting lists for them. Yeah, but can I just ask, what is this stupidity? I don't understand it. I understand a diamond ring costing a lot because you dug it out of the floor. It's like these people that get these really hideous Porsches and stuff, hideous, brand new. But even that, it's just a status symbol. It's a status symbol. It's never any bigger than this. No, Birkin bags are huge as well. Actually, I just saw something pop up when we were looking there that Kylie has Snapchatted Kris Jenner, the mum, because you never know who any of them are, Birkin. She's got a whole wardrobe, I was just seeing there, dedicated to Birkin bags. You're going to be talking about hundreds of thousands of pounds on handbags. That's just stupid. I mean, to me, it's just madness. So, okay, can I ask a question? Why is she so popular if that is such a disconnect from what the majority... Why aren't people resentful of her? I think people are resentful of the Kardashians, but I think they're also utterly intrigued because all of us love to look into worlds that we know nothing about, that we will never experience, whether that's... So it's like looking into royalty. Yeah, it's just royalty. It's just Hollywood royalty, and but it's better in a way because you get to see everything. Whereas with our royals, you don't see they hide it away. But the excesses are very similar. Do you think there'll come a point where Kim Kardashian's bubble will burst? I don't mean her buttocks, but her bubble will burst, and then everyone will just enjoy the descent. Tends to happen a lot in America. You know, if you think of like Michael Jackson and all that sort of stuff, everyone ends up having their moment in the sun. I really don't think they're bad people. No, I've watched this show. I don't think they're bad people, so I would hope not. It's not like talking about Imelda Marcos, in which you hope she would have a terrible ending because of the appalling way she's treated people. I just think they're people that have had incredible good fortune and luck. But I also know that alongside whatever appears to be incredible good fortune and luck, and we know this a lot with the famous, rich and famous, that behind the scenes there's all kinds of unhappiness going on. I mean, she is married to this crazy genius, and all the stuff that goes. Look how many times Khloe Kardashian's been cheated on, and like twice she's been married and been cheated on in the most horrific way. So I think that
we fall into this trap of going, oh, these people have got so much wealth. They're so lucky. Everything's so fantastic. They're devoid of problems. They're devoid of problems.
Okay, a bit of an odd present for your child, though, surely, is buying a child of yours the original jacket that Michael Jackson, with all of the kind of, you know, hullabaloo surrounding Michael Jackson, that cost over £50,000.
Well,
they won in an auction.
They didn't buy it.
Right.
They were gifted. They were gifted it.
Right.
They won it.
Yeah.
So they gave it. You've got to remember that if you're billionaires,
50,000 is like 50 quid.
It's like somebody. It's like if we buy our kids a pair of trainers for 50 quid. To a lot of people, that would seem completely insane. It's
I guess so.
I suppose in their world,
I was more struck by the idea of Michael Jackson, though.
I think the thing is, she's such a massive fan of the Jacksons, North, that they just gave her this jacket. I mean, it is otherworldly, isn't it? I mean, it's just otherworldly.
So in Canada, Home Alone 2, in which there is a cameo of Trump in the film, the cameo appearance has been cut. And Trump's come out blaming...
And they said it's because of the commercial break.
Yeah. And Trump's come out blaming Justin Trudeau for the Home Alone 2 snub. The movie will never be the same, he tweeted, after fans and his oldest son expressed their displeasure with the change.
He's so jealous of Trudeau because Trudeau is young, good looking, women love him.
Yeah.
He's very highly educated.
Yeah.
He can't stand him.
And Donald Trump's son posted on Instagram, this move is absolutely pathetic. The liberal media, like CBC, is where Trump derangement syndrome manifests itself fully. I don't know. What do you think? Pulling out... Should you pull a clip out if he was in the film? Wasn't he? There's that other film, isn't there? Is it Naked Gun or whatever, where O.J. Simpson's in it? Do we start going back and kind of cutting stuff accordingly?
But they've just said they've edited it for time, you know. I mean, he says that he forced himself into the film anyway in the first place.
But wouldn't it be funny if a huge diplomatic spat between Canada and America was started over Home Alone 2?
These edits were done in 2014 when we first acquired the film.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, it's just
so he's taken it personally.
He's taken it personally because he's chippy. He takes everything personally.
He's going to declare war on Canada because he was cut from Home Alone 2. I don't know why, that tickled me a bit. That tickled me.
So another backlash to the Kardashians. Kylie Jenner, which she must remember, she's only 22, right? And she's a billionaire.
Wow.
How can you possibly manage that kind of money at 22?
Yeah.
Right? When you've only grown up in the very rare... Well, no, but she manages it in the way that somebody who's grown up around that kind of money their entire life. But of course, because of Snapchat and because of stories on Instagram and all of this, you forget yourself and you post it.
Well, she
so she's bought her 2-year-old daughter a diamond ring.
Oh, no.
And
it's a Stormy in a teacup.
And it's a Stormy in a teacup. And she posted it. She's since removed the story.
Oh. So she knows something's up.
Yeah, and she bought her a pony and named the pony after the same pony in Frozen.
Right. Didn't know there was a pony in Frozen.
No, you know, if I had £1 billion...
Oh, no, it's named after Olaf.
Yeah, Olaf. No, if I had £1 billion and I had a 2-year-old, and don't forget, the Jenners and Kardashians are all very good horsewomen. They all really, really ride. And you start at 2 or 3 years old. Of course you're going to buy your own pony.
Fair dues.
The other thing is that her mum, Kris Jenner, has, and everyone says, oh, she's got a mansion. Stormy's been given a mansion at 2 years old. Now I've had a look at it on Instagram, and what it is, you know when you have a Wendy house in the garden, but it's just a fabulous Wendy house.
Yeah.
It's got a doorbell, it's got an upstairs and downstairs, it's got all the furniture that Kylie had as a child.
Right.
These are very wealthy people. If we could have afforded to build a proper little Wendy house in the garden, we'd have done it.
A manger. I'd have loved to have built her a manger.
Just well jelly. I'd have loved to have built them a really big tree house, you know, and if we'd had the money, we would have done it. But we didn't.
What about this, though? Twitter user weighed in. I'm sorry, but it's so effing ridiculous that Kylie got Stormy a 2-year-old a diamond ring. I know people work for their money, but that money could have gone to putting food in someone's body, paying for medical bills, or planting trees. Well, you could say that of everything, though, couldn't you?
But I do think as well, we do like to say that when people are really rich, we like to say, why don't they give their money? But I think the thing is, I think good rich people don't actually tell you how much money they give away, and I think that a lot of people, if they were shouting about the money that they did give away, we would be pissed off with them.
But also the press aren't particularly interested in those stories. They're only interested in stories that divide and conquer. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, so there we have it, the crazy world of celebrity this Christmas. And you know what, maybe next Christmas I'll build you a tree house in the garden.
That'd be nice.
What do you think about that?
Maybe I'll buy you a diamond ring.
Oh.